저 사람을 대통령으로 만들어야 한반도 전쟁이 안 나고 힐러리가 대통령 되면 한반도 전쟁이 일어날 수 있으니 힐러리를 떨어뜨려야 되겠다. 내 말대로 되죠? 내 말에는 권세와 권능이 있습니다. 내가 말한 것은 이루어집니다.
This Korean man claims that he has arrived on Earth from a place called Sky Palace, 12 billion light years away from our planet. He says he has been going in and out of his body since 1 and has been commuting via black holes and white holes to his Sky Palace. He also claims that he has an IQ of 430 and can teleport and manipulate gravity. This man also came in third on the 2021 Seoul mayor elections, racking in a total of 52,107 votes. Today we're exploring the world of the weirdest politician in Korea and quite possibly the world, Huh Gyung-Young. Huh Gyung-Young was born on 1947 in the city of Myeong. However, according to himself, he was born on January 1st, 1950, under a bridge in Seoul during a solar eclipse. Huh Gyung-Young claims to have read through the 4 books and 5 classics, authoritative books of Confucianism, before he entered elementary school.
Knowledge.
After finishing elementary school, he went to Seoul and worked as a shoe shiner, stuntman, and also sold his blood to make ends meet while going to high school and college. During this time, he allegedly met Samsung founder Lee Byung-chul, who, according to Huh Gyung-Young, adopted him as his son. He then allegedly suggested Samsung enter the semiconductor industry, the industry that has made Samsung the powerhouse they are today and still makes up a large chunk of their profits. Through the Samsung founder Lee Byung-chul, he was then introduced to then President of South Korea, Park Chung-hee, and worked as his secret service member, leading Korea's industrialization movement. What an amazing story this is. However, these are all his claims, and like most Korean people, I don't think any of this actually ever happened. Huh Gyung-young entered politics by attempting to run for president in 1987, though he failed to gather enough funding and thus quit out of the race. This was followed by unsuccessful election runs in 91, 97, 2002, and 2004. He joined the then ruling party in 2006 and applied to be the presidential candidate, but decided to leave the party to form the Economic Republic Party in 2007. And let's just say this made quite a splash. The 2007 presidential campaign was Huh Gyung-young's big breakthrough moment in terms of media attention and his meanness. He came out with 33 radical policies that, according to him, would save the fate of Korea. These included handing out 90,000 US dollars to married couples to boost marriage rates, buying the Baikal Lake in Russia to provide clean water for Korea, and drastically decreasing the number of elected politicians and also giving them zero salary and 100% volunteer work. People thought he was absolutely crazy, but this also garnered immense attention on his campaign. This was also when he made some very absurd personal claims, stating that Park Geun-hye, a conservative candidate who eventually was elected president in the next election, was his lover, and that he would marry her after he became president. He also claimed that he participated in George Bush's inauguration party as a representative of Korea. Unfortunately for Huh Gyung-young, these claims were taken to court and it turned out that they were all false, including his picture with George Bush, which turned out to be photoshopped, as if anyone thought otherwise. This resulted him in 18 months of prison and also a 10-year ban on running for elections. But his craziness did not just stop at memes and lawsuits. 2007 was also when Huh Gyung-young started showing his cult leader-like behavior. He stated that he could cure AIDS by just looking at the patients and that he came from heaven. In order to receive his heavenly healing, people would have to sign up to his political party. Sadly, most folks who did sign up and believe this were people in need of help. Many of these older people who were terminally sick or poor. Huh Gyung-young would touch these folks and then claim that he cured them and received monetary gains. These questionable tactics, I mean if you want to even call them tactics, were frowned upon and they were quite possibly illegal, but they were mostly just brushed off at that time as dumb people following an even dumber cult. Now, Huh Gyung-Young is definitely not a great model politician, but if you want to become a leader and don't know where to start, Skillshare is a great resource for you. Skillshare is an online learning service that has thousands of classes and workshops ranging from topics like leadership, public speaking, and even, that's right, office politics. I've been taking some of these classes to help me lead my own business, DKDKTV, and my recently launched Naked Soul. These classes are always broken down into shorter segments, so they're never really too long. You don't have to feel overwhelmed that you're going to listen to a 3-hour lecture. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description box below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, and after that is less than $10 per month. So what are you waiting for? Go out there, learn something. And now back to Huh Gyung-Young. In 2017, Huh Gyung-Young was brought back to the public eye again as media reported his cult had grown bigger than ever. Nearby Seoul, he had created the Sky Palace, where he cured people with his energy by touching them all over the body. Of course, these participants were also charged for their medical expenses. He even posted a video of a blind man being able to see again thanks to his healing powers. He was also giving out paid lectures in this Sky Castle to his cult followers. He also bought a Rolls Royce. Pretty nice. In his latest revision of his cult, he claimed to be able to prolong lifespans and see the future with his energy. He claimed that he came from the White Palace 12 billion light years away to unify the world, and that he would take 10 million followers with him. White Palace, Sky Palace, this guy loves palaces. And Huh Gyung-Young was going about his outlandish ways crazier than ever.
Right now.
So how did this crazy cult leader of a man get 52,107 votes in the 2021 Seoul mayor elections? Well, some of his radical policies he suggested in 2007 became tangible options that real, legitimate politicians were discussing in the modern era. For example, the $90,000 in cash for newlyweds. Huh Gyung-Young discussed this in 2007. It became an actual suggested policy 10 years later in the form of handing out that exact same amount for every newborn baby. In 2012, An Chul-soo, a very popular mainstream politician, suggested drastically cutting down elected officials' numbers to the exact 100 that Huh Gyung-Young suggested in 2007. Maybe this guy was onto something. Of course, most people voting for Huh Gyung-Young still believe that most of his policies are groundless. However, there is a certain disdain over mainstream politics in Korea right now, with many of the undecided voters losing trust in the Democratic Party of Korea, the left, and the People Power Party, the right, the two mainstream forces in Korean politics right now. Thus, they vote for this man.
트럼프가 3번 초청하고 내가 트럼프를 만날 때도 눈에 에너지를 보냈고 그래서 두 사람이 상당히 달라져 버렸어요. 그러니까 내가 전쟁을 할 수 없는 에너지를 실제 집어넣은 거죠.
Some politicians and experts warn that such mass voting of Huh Gyung-Young could lead people to not taking politics and democracy seriously. However, I think of it as a sign of people's extreme exhaustion over mainstream politics. These voters don't actually believe that his policies are realistic or optimal, or at least I hope not. But they do think that the mainstream parties are not providing any good options for them. 52,000 people voting for Huh Gyung-Young isn't something that the politicians should criticize the people over, but something that should make themselves look in the mirror. Hopefully in 2022, when the presidential election which Huh Gyung-Young vowed to run for finally comes, we will all have less urges to throw a vote for this man. Thank you very much for listening to this video essay, and thank you to our sponsors at Skillshare. Go check out that link description box below. And also, if you want to support this channel, go to patreon.com/DKDKTV, where you can get exclusive content, exclusive live streams, and reactions only on patreon.com/DKDKTV. And also, I want to know, who is the weirdest politician in your country? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.